sitting out here on my balcony in Bologna. But I mentioned to you in my last vlog that I crashed my drone and it had to go off for repairs. And I think I even told you a little bit about how I did that. I found a company. Actually, I watched an old vlog from Texas, Filipina, and he had, I guess, had some drone issues and was searching for someone to do work on his drone, and he did a short vlog on it. So I mean, it was a couple of years ago, but I decided to take his information and see if I could locate this company. Apparently what it is DJI drones don't have a service center here in the Philippines, and you have to send it off to Hong Kong, and I think once it gets there, when it comes back, it becomes a customs issue. So was looking for a repair place here in the Philippines, and I watched Texas Filipina's vlog, and he had talked about a company called Lazarus Information Technology Solutions. They are in Manila. So I just Googled it, and sure enough, found their website, and instructions were pretty clear. I messaged them through Messenger. They told me where to send the drone, how to send it. I sent it to them. It took a day for it to get from Bologna City to Manila, and they diagnosed it that same day. Sent me through the email, they sent me a form just talking about what was showing pictures actually of the damage, some GPS. I'm not sure what it was inside the drone, but when the drone hit the concrete, it jarred it pretty good. So there was a couple of parts that had to be replaced. I signed it, approved the work, knew exactly what it was going to cost me, went ahead and made the deposit to their bank. They repaired it the same day and shipped it back the next day, and I received it yesterday. So very quick, but here it is. As you can see, they sent it back through a local shipper called LBC, and I'm just going to kind of see what we got. They're very clear in their instructions. The customer service is really good. They don't want you to send any accessories. Of course, batteries, you can't ship those anyway. Those lithium batteries. So you take your propellers off. Any accessories you've got, you keep them here at your house, and you just ship them the drone, minus the propellers. So looks like they packed it really good. I'm going to go ahead and pause this and start it back once I get all this bubble wrap off, because sometimes it takes a while. So like I thought, it was very well wrapped. Lazarus and even signed over all the tape to show that, so you could see if it had been tampered with in shipment. But LBC is a very reputable shipper here in the Philippines, so I wouldn't expect any problems. They shipped it back in the box that I shipped it to them in. Wow. They even wrapped it up inside my bag. So, oh, and by the way, you do also send your controller. They do ask for the drone without propellers or battery, and they ask for your controller as well. I'm just going to do a real quick visual inspection of this. They test it before they send it back to you, so it should be operational. I just want to see if the visible damage that it had has been corrected. Yeah. So that's my baby, Mavic Air 2. Where the thing is, if this had landed in a rice field, it probably wouldn't have received even a fraction of the damage that it did, but because it landed on a concrete road, it landed just like this.
Did you say Mavic?
And yeah, this is a Mavic Air Mini 2 is what this is called. What it did is it busted up this bottom plate. The battery would no longer go in it, and there's a GPS module in there, very tiny part, that when it impacted the concrete, I guess damaged it pretty good. So wow, it looks brand new. I don't see any of the damage that it had when I shipped it. So I'm assuming at this point, until I get an opportunity to fly it, that everything with this drone is good. They did a great job, and I couldn't be happier with their customer service. They were very thorough, very professional, and I'm going to tell you, unless I see something wrong with its performance, which again I'm not expecting it, but if I do, I will update you and let you know. But it looks like they did a great job on this. So if you got any issues with your DJI, for sure, and I believe they repair all kinds of drones, I can recommend this place to you. It's called Lazarus. Let me make sure I get the name right. Yeah, Lazarus Information Technology Solutions, and they are located in Quezon City, Manila. So you can Google them, and easy to find their information. Very easy to communicate with, very quick with their communication. I was even messaging them late into the evening, and they were replying to my messages. So I couldn't be happier. Now, the last thing I want to do with this raw vlog is answer a few viewer questions that have come in the last several weeks. I do reply when you guys ask questions. I try to, Jen usually sends a reply, and then if it's something that she's not familiar with, she'll ask me to look at it, and then I'll reply with whatever detail I need to. But some of them are questions that I didn't have answers to, so I wanted to talk to the engineer on the site, which I did yesterday. And one of the questions was about insulation. There have been other vloggers, I believe, that have built houses here in the Philippines, and people have seen when they're putting the metal roof on the rafters, there's a very thin, I can't even be a quarter-inch, of white foam with a kind of like a foil backing, obviously designed to try to reflect some heat from the metal roof. And it goes in between the metal roof and the actual rafter that the metal roofing is screwed to, so it's between the two. My engineer explained to me the reason they choose not to use that product is because due to the extreme heat that those roofs go through, he basically stated within a couple of years that material starts to disintegrate. And he mentioned something about once it starts disintegrating, you get pests up in the attic that will start using it for bedding and things like that. But the main reason, he said, is because once it does disintegrate, you now have a gap where that metal roofing is screwed into that rafter, because that foam's no longer there. And he said it's not much of a gap, but he said it's just enough that if you get a good typhoon or a good windstorm, it'll start to pop that metal roofing and start working those screws, and eventually you're going to lose your roofing. So, you know, it made sense to me. I believe that's probably correct, because, and here's why I know this, the last school I worked at in Texas, we had a metal roof, and that same thing had basically happened, and we had a good windstorm, and sure enough, it causes problems lifting those screws out, and eventually you'll lose your roofing. So that's why. Now, there are other insulation options, and I asked them why not something else, and their statement to me was because I selected the cement board for my ceiling, that offers enough R value to keep the heat from the attics on these homes here are not what we are used to in the United States, where you can stand up and walk around and store things in them. And these things, I mean, there's maybe this much room between the ceiling and the roof, so it's just enough to run wires and things that they do up in that area. But also your purling that goes around the outside of the house has vents all in it, so you get airflow. The heat should move out of that small attic area. But if I find after we've lived there a couple of years that there's an issue with the heat, I don't expect it to be, but let's say it is. There are some options I can partake in. One of the ones that I've looked at is spray foam insulation. They can literally go in and underneath the metal roofing and just spray this foam material that gives you a pretty good barrier. It's very expensive. It wouldn't be something I'd do unless, like I said, we had a real problem with the heat precipitating into the actual home. I'm not expecting that though, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The good, the bad, the Philippines.